afternoon. How are you all doing today?
We're
Hi.
doing
Hey, how's it
well.
going?
Thank
So
you.
great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us. My name is Alex LaBosque. I'm the producer. Graham Streeter is writer-director. And then we have Zane and Zoe. Zane Haney, Zoe Papia. They're two of the lead actors in our film. And we're all happy to be here. So thank you for having us.
No. Thank you guys for giving us the time, to talk about Unfix as well. Welcome you all to Real In Films. I gotta say, this film is very empowering in all reasons as possible. Being that this past year there has been a lot of documentaries talking about that main topic about conversion therapy and how it affected many lives. And still ongoing. A lot of people are appearing of having this type of situation going on their mind and not being openly on it. But this film gives that empowerment to talk and to fight it. So I wanted to have my first initial question to the director and the producer. What inspired you both to bring this film to the world?
Well, Graham is the writer and director, so he initiated the story. So I'll let him answer.
So with our company, every couple of years we set out to do a film, and the first thing we ask ourselves is like, what's an imperative that's happening in the world that, first of all, we don't know enough about, and we need to learn more about. And through the rabbit hole of just exploration, came upon conversion therapy, and I, sadly realized I was just chipping at the top of the iceberg of what really lies behind or underneath this quietly, active practice across the country or worldwide for that matter, and how it exists in both a clinical situation and also in religious leadership. And so it was eye-opening to do the research to understand just how big and how heavy the gravity was that was affected by this, and then inspired us to write a story and then put it in a narrative that would be translatable to a general audience, not just those who are victims or survivors of conversion therapy.
Okay, so wanted to ask you both as well. Were there any difficulties while to bring this film to fruition? Due to the fact that you guys do touch bases in COVID times, so were there any difficulties for both of you to bring this film to us?
I think the challenges were casting. I think the characters are very complex, and you really need to comb the world of the right performers and the right actors to really fit the roles. I think that was and going through COVID, it was harder to kind of do that in person because it really needed the nuances of the performers, the actors, to really match the roles. And so that was one of the biggest challenges that we faced. Luckily, we had enough time, enough, you know, enough people to really allow us the variety of performances, and we were lucky to have stumbled across Zane and Zoe.
No.
So going now to that, so Zane, Zoe, what inspired you guys to just take this project and be part of Unfix?
I'm I'll go. I'm really attracted to impactful stories, stories that can reach a wider audience, that can make a difference. So when I read something and I'm immediately moved by it, it's like, here we go. This is what I want to do, and I'm in that 100%. I don't like to do shallow things. I want to be in the deep end of the swimming pool always. And I think with Graham and Alex, they've really created something that was impactful and was able to reach a lot of people. And yeah, I was so excited to begin working on it.
How about you, Zoe? Were there any things of your character, Ava, that just caught your attention and you were like, yes, I want to do that character?
Well, straight off, like right off the jump, when I auditioned, reading the sides that we were given, I was like, what is going on in the story? There was so much happening.
That's true.
And not in a negative way. It was like, wow, I really want to fine tune and like kind of split hairs to figure out what these people are going through. But when we talk specifically about Ava, what drew me to her, she is incredibly strong and unwavering when it comes to her partner, and she, in the face of trauma and kind of going back and forth, in the face of COVID, in the face of losing her business, in the face of, you know, other things. Yeah. I was like about to say something like, no, I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
In the face of many things, she held herself with such poise, and she just she
Stoic is the word I use.
yeah, so like she has this air about her where she's like, nothing can penetrate this exterior that I've built up for years and years and years, but the love and compassion and care she has for her person in this life is unwavering, and I just think that's so beautiful to show on screen, especially when we're talking about such a impactful topic as conversion therapy and the trauma that comes behind that.
And kind of just like going off that too, I think what makes these characters so interesting is because all they really have is each other. So I think when you only have like one person to rely on, that really increases the stakes, like dramatically, obviously, but like from like an emotional perspective, because you know, if you lose that person, you know, I'm not saying that anyone loses anybody, but like it really it's that's just the hardest thing to deal with in somebody's life, to lose that one person that they have.
So that's I want to touch upon that. Throughout the film, Graham, we do not only see conversion therapy. We touch up on a lot of things. It's not only that's not the only topic that's there. What is it your intention while you were developing your story to not only focus on that, to focus on other topics around that comes into, you know, the day-to-day person?
Sure, I think by nature, when you do a deep dive into a certain topic, you start to realize how it affects everything around you. You're not in a vacuum when you're a victim of something or when you've experienced something that is life-changing. So the rabbit holes I go down in my research often reflect the narrative of the characters in the story too. You just, out of pure curiosity, you start to learn more about like some of the things that we dive into in the story surrounding conversion therapy. They're fascinating, but those are the kind of things that the support and the love that's around that person who's gone through will eventually also kind of stumble upon, and it'll be their life. So it made sense to integrate that into, for example, Ari kind of pivoting around this one thing, but all the different issues that also pop up, rise up because of his journey.
No, so, yeah, that's one of the amazing points that the film brings. You know, it touches up on a lot of topics around the characters and around the main focus as well of the story. I want to ask each and one of you, because wanted to know what is your favorite scene, or if you guys have a favorite moment that you guys recorded or while you were filming.
So I'll let them answer the question about what they loved when they were performing or filming, because Alex and I have not let them see the film yet. They're gonna see it. They're gonna see it on the premiere on the 30th at Dancing with Film. So
I know.
You can ask them, but they have no idea. But as far as filming,
I mean, we were there for the filming, you know. I think, yeah, for the most part.
So is there like any moment while filming Unfix. Do you guys have any like moment that you take to heart till this day?
Without spoiling something?
Yeah.
Without spoiling,
Yeah.
without spoilers.
Well,
Yeah.
I will say this. I'll start it by saying both of them. This is first time in leading roles. Is this your first lead?
Yeah,
In a feature,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, and when it comes to that, every scene is like amazing,
Huge.
probably.
Yeah.
But what
Well,
is it?
yeah.
I'm curious. Without.
I mean, there's so many.
There's a lot. Yeah.
But I'll start. I'll go.
Please.
No, I will say, I can't say what the scene is, but it's one of the last scenes in the film, where all the 4 characters are together.
That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
well, I
say.
figured that's probably worse. We can just agree, and you can just riff with me.
Sure. All right, let's do
yeah.
it. Open up the conversation.
More, yes, it's like the peak of emotion when it comes to the film, and with our characters. So we've seen all of our characters.
Well, never mind, we're not talking about the same scene.
Really?
But go on, keep going.
Oh gosh. But also as an actor, I am incredibly grateful for the bond and the relationship that I was able to create with Zane and the 2 other gentlemen that were in the film, Damon and Noah. And we, right off the bat, we were all like BFFs.
Family,
We really like enjoyed each other's time. We would hang out afterwards and do game nights and have long conversations, and we just connected immediately. There was no work that needed to be done in terms of like seeing each other. We really were able to see each other, know what the other needed as an actor and as a person. And that scene was just a culmination of all of that character and personal coming together in this beautiful, like flourishing moment. And for me, like, I will never forget that. That was one of the last scenes we shot all together as well.
No, it was the scene I was talking about.
Yeah, it was one of the last moments. So it was very cathartic to like have this last moment together and have it be, towards the end of the film, like the actual film and sequence. So that's probably mine.
Yeah, it's the same for me. She took everything I had to say, but that's fine. No, but like as Zoe was saying, like it's really important when you're making like this kind of a film to really have like trust in the other people that you're working with. And right away, I think like just from when we did the chemistry reads and stuff, like we kind of inherently knew who if we were gonna get the part, but like who we wanted to be with, and who we trusted and who we could just kind of like really, when it like comes down to like the moment, just like play around and really be, because I think you can only do that when you have that trust in the other person, and when you can look in their eyes and you can feel what they're feeling, and you break down that wall of whatever it is that you normally have when you first meet a person. So yeah, building the relationship over time is very, very important. And I think that's and especially like in independent film, when you're making like this kind of a project, being able to take the time and do that in the first place is really, really rewarding. And I have such
and thanks to these guys for bringing us all together, and they really saw what we saw as well. So we're incredibly grateful.
So my final,
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying, we always try to make a good, warm, welcoming family environment on set and within production. But I give a great amount of credit to Zoe, because she would open up her house at night. They'd do short of sleepovers. Those guys were over all night long. She cooked
I
food.
had something at I cooked dinner.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that's right.
No, that was me.
I had a whole Thai dinner.
You did.
Never mind. You had vegan and sausages.
And you
Nothing
love
wrong,
them.
Nothing wrong. They're pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty
But
good.
you know what the weird thing is? They never invited Alex.
Aw.
Okay, so the thing is, quickly, my favorite thing was that to see the level of performance that you get from these actors, but the contrast was they were so kind, so humble. There was the easiest actors to work with that really gave a lot more than you kind of expected for how humble they were. So that was my favorite thing throughout the entire film.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. So the final question will be for Graham. So what can the viewer expect from Unfix?
They can expect a pretty serious story that goes on quite a roller coaster of a ride. It's a drama. It hits some dark topics, but it's also a story about really the human condition and hope. I think that when you walk away, you realize that there's always something later. One of the characters Noah has a semicolon tattoo on the back of his ear, the character that he played in the story, which means to be continued. And this story is about being continued. And conversion therapy is a hard road to travel. The journey is tough to survive, but there's always a great future, because we believe that the kind of work that we're doing, and also the work of Trevor Project, who's on board with us, and Born Perfect, and Conversion Therapy Network, Dropout Network. These organizations are all doing what they can to further the awareness and fight for legislation and make a difference for people who've gone through this and stop people from making it happen in the future. And like Ari's character and Zoe's character, and all four of them in the story, they are also doing their part to kind of move forward in life in the story. And we hope the film will do the same thing.
And if the takeaway from this is, if you love yourself first, everything else will fall into place.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
We'll see
it's
you at the
a
theater.
wristband, Unfix.
That's amazing. Thank you, all of you, for giving us the time to talk about Unfix. I hope that everybody, when they sit down and they join you on Friday, June 30th, on the world premiere, I hope that they all go ahead and enjoy the film. Thank you very much for all of you.
And thank you to
John.
Dances with Films for making us, highlighting us on a great evening at the TLC Chinese theaters. So
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Bye.